Hey all, good evening and welcome to another session with me, Varun on TechTablet. And in this video series, we are trying to cover a free course on data science to the best possible extent so that all those people who are looking for a free course can gain some help. And in this video, in specific, we will be talking about the differences between a data scientist and a data engineer. And this video is being made after a lot of queries from a lot of candidates and trainees who have faced some confusion about understanding the difference between the role of a data scientist and a data engineer. Right, guys? And this video would be focusing on these topics. That is, the first one would be to understand the difference between a data scientist and an engineer. The second one would be to take a look at the different tools and softwares used by each of them in their area of expertise, to look at the opportunities and salaries that are being drawn by data scientists and data engineers respectively, and finally a conclusion about what is what, so that we have an understanding about a final understanding about data scientist and a data engineer. Well, I am Varun, and I started working with SAP ABAP, moved on into SAP UI5. Then, after a couple of years of experience, I started following my passion and I started creating rap videos with the name Hyderabadi Chora on YouTube. And I also give some shows in Hyderabad, and I also work as a data science trainer. Right, guys, you can all follow me on Instagram if in case there's anything that you would want to talk about, or if there's anything that you would want to ask with regards to data science or training, because I also give trainings on data science. So currently I work as a freelance trainer. So if any of you is interested, please feel free to let me know. Now, talking about the differences between a data scientist and a data engineer, a data scientist usually deals with the data that's come up to him after rounds of cleaning and manipulation. Now, when we talk about cleaning and manipulation, it could be removing any values, adding any values, or adding columns which are required, changing the names of columns. All these are done, and finally, he would have the data set which is required for him to apply algorithms. While a data engineer would be working with raw data mostly. And when we say raw data, it could be, it could have any kind of errors, and it could be as raw and as dirty or as unsettled as possible. Then the second difference that we would be talking about is a data scientist uses processed data to feed to sophisticated analytics programs, and also machine learning and statistical methods as well, which are used for predictive and prescriptive modeling. We all know what predictive modeling is. Data science has come into a huge demand because of predictive modeling. I wouldn't mind saying that predictive modeling is the one which has fueled data science all the way. Then, notwithstanding that, the second difference we have between data scientist and a data engineer is a data engineer works mostly on non-validated, unformatted codes that are system specific. Then a data scientist would be leveraging huge chunks of data, like the information of data is huge, and it is basically to answer the business needs by building applied mathematical models. At the same time, a data engineer, he would be required to recommend and also implement ways to improve data reliability, efficiency, and quality. So all of these are required by a data engineer. So these are some broad differences that we could talk about when we bring data engineer and a data scientist into conversation. Now, here I have a question for you. If you could just sit back and think, which of these is more important, which of these is more required? Do you want to be a data scientist, or do you want to be a data engineer, is more important? And if you have answer to that question, then we could move on to the next. And this slide focuses on the different tools and softwares used by each of. Though there are a lot of tools in common which we will be seeing, some tools used by data scientists are R language, SAS, and the tool used for R language would be R Studio. By the way, guys, it's not R language. R language is a language in itself. You have SAS, you have Python, And for Python, you would be using Anaconda. You have Tableau, you have Pandas, which are some libraries. You have Hadoop, you have SPSS, you have Java, Spark, Scala, etc. But when you talk about a data engineer, because he has to work with backend as well, he would be working on things like MongoDB, SAP, MySQL, Cassandra, Oracle. You have Araiki, you have Redis, you have Java, you have Scala, and you have Hadoop. So things like these are what a data engineer moreover works on. Though they are not very different, but you would see that a data engineer's role is a bit more deeper and a bit more profound as compared to a data scientist. A data scientist would be working on a bit of superficial things as compared to a data engineer from a very narrow perspective. But when you talk about a data scientist who works on deep learning, or who works on things related to integration and migration, well, that is when uh, the level playing field completely differs, even if it is a data scientist as well. Now, talking about the job opportunities, uh, here you have on the left and right, you have IBM, Google, Microsoft, Facebook, Oracle, Apple. You have a whole lot of companies which offer jobs. Notwithstanding these, we have some great upcoming, or we have some great startups like Uber, Ola, Zomato, Mintra, Facebook. All Facebook is definitely not a startup, but yes, all these organizations, they have, or they use, or they hire data scientists and data engineers. Now, when you talk about titles, though the title could vary, it could be a data scientist, or an engineer, or an architect, or a database administrator, or a machine learning expert, big data engineer, an artificial intelligence expert. All of these designations, these companies look after, because they would require, or they have the largest data related workforces, and they would continue to hire. Now, talking about the salaries, or the most average, or the range of salaries for data scientists and data engineers by Glassdoor, Payscale, and DataCamp, we can see that data engineers have a bit of a higher cut as compared to a data scientist. While a data scientist has $80,000 to $130, you see that data engineer has $170, 170 plus $170,000 plus, which is a very huge amount. Now again, when you look at data camp, here you have data engineer and data scientist, wherein data engineer is again earning more, and the same is with PayScale also. So these are the three platforms that I've bought them down, so that we could just use for comparison, so that you have an idea about what it is that we're looking at. Now, giving you a conclusion about it, though everybody wants to be a data scientist, if a data scientist creates a breakthrough algorithm, and if there's no data engineer, then trust me, guys, there's nothing you would be able to do with it. A data engineer is the one who would actually process or take your code forward and ensure that it's getting executed at the right place, with the right set of technologies. And there is a blog which says that you would be requiring a quantity, or a ratio of data scientists is to data engineers in the ratio of 1 is to 5. That is, you would be requiring 5 data engineers to manage one data scientist. And a report also states that there are as many as 12 times unfulfilled data engineering jobs in a lot of countries. And it hence gives us an understanding about the role of data engineer. And it's a hope that probably in time to come, data engineers would definitely be occupying a much more productive role in workspace. Well, this is me, Varun Rao, logging off. Thanks a lot, each and everyone, for being very patient. And if you have any queries, please feel free to use the comment section below, right? And if you're also looking for any training in detail, you could write down to us, and we would send an enrollment form to you, after which we could start the training on data science, which would cover our machine learning, Python, statistics, and other subjects as well. Right, guys? So I hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks a lot for your patience. This is me, Varun Rao, signing off, hoping to see you in the next session with the next topic, because there is a lot yet to cover and a lot of knowledge yet to be exchanged between us. Have a great day. Thank you for being with me.